Okay, so did I click that? I guess I did. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're gonna get started with the basics of Photoshop. So I am going to open up a new file. I am going to do, sheesh, what should I do? We're gonna do a basic 13 by 19 size canvas. Okay, so here's our canvas. I'm gonna go back to show you those steps. I hit new file. I already have custom templates set from the Doing Design, so I just clicked on that. When you, like I said, if you want to change the width and height, you will click here in these boxes. Make sure it's at inches, pixels, whatever you chose to customize your template in. I always use inches. Then you have the orientation style here. You have the resolution here. I just leave it set with that. I never bother the RGB color, transparent for my background. You could do white, black, background color. I always just do transparent, and I never bother these two down here. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit create again. So now we have our blank canvas. I am going to bring something in. When you want to bring an image in, well, on Mac, I'm not really sure about HP or any other type of computer. I can do it one or two ways. I can hit the photos and drag and drop it that way, or I can do place embedded. I'm at file, place embedded, and then search for whatever it is that I want. So I'm just going to scroll through and find something because I didn't have anything in mind to make. Just wanted to go live and show you guys how to do a few things. You know what? I am going to do a memorial image real quick. So we're going to search for a heaven background. Now I have a few heaven backgrounds on my computer already. Now I can use that, or I can go to Google. Go down here. Let me share the screen with y'all. I'm gonna go to Google. Let me go to Google. All right, I'm on Google. I'm about to bring you guys in so you guys can see the screen. Okay, here I am on Google. I am going to search heaven backgrounds. So now I am going to click on PNG, images, and here we go. So I'm just going to search for a nice little background to use really quick, just to show you guys how to do a few things. How about we search for heavens there? Here you go. Okay, so how about I use this? Search here. How about we use this here? Now I'm gonna just save this to my photos. It's saved to my photos, so I'm gonna just drag and drop it in my canvas. And what I am about to do, I am going to make this staircase meet up right here. So it's going to look like a double staircase. So what I'll do is I'll measure this image to the size that I want. And then I'll hit the check mark. I'll make sure that layer is selected, and I'm going to hit Command C, which is copy. And I'm going to get Command V, which is paste. Now I want to flip this horizontally. So I'm going to go up here to File. I'm going to go to Edit, guys. Transformation. Flip horizontally. And you see how it meets up? I mean, it's okay. It's not what I really was looking for, but it's all right. It's doable for a quick learning on how to maneuver Photoshop. I don't want I'm trying to get the white line. Oh, you really can't see it. Okay, so that's fine. So what I am going to do, I'm zooming in and zooming out using my mouse pad. My two fingers, I spread them apart to zoom out and bring them close together to zoom in. I am going to merge this layer together, this layer and this layer. So that layer is already highlighted. So I'm going to hold down my Command key, click that layer, then I'm going to right click, and I'm going to merge these layers. Now, this is one layer. One layer. You see how if I move my mouse on it, it's one layer. So I'm going to keep that. And I am going to bring a square in, a color for the background. So I'm going to click on a square, draw a square, just as long as it's big enough to fit the back of the canvas, the part that you're trying to cover. I'm gonna hit the move tool, and I'm gonna drag that square behind my staircase because I want it to be behind it and not on top of it. So now what I am going to do, I am going to double click in the square and bring up my layer style box. I'm going to hit color overlay, click in that layer, click on the color and get my dropper, hover it over the image because I want to get a color of I want my background to match the color of the image. So I'm gonna click here and there you have it. If I click here, it'll be darker blue. If I click here, it's a lighter blue. If I click on the clouds, it will be white. So anywhere you click, hover the dropper over your image, it would change your background to that color. Let's go up here. Trying to get it darker. That's fine. And then I am going to click OK. Sorry, I'm just trying to close my. Okay, and then I am going to hit OK again. Now I want to blend this bottom background in with this top background. So I'm going to click on the layer that I need to blend, which is the bottom. So I click on that layer. I go here and add another square. I forget what it's called. Forgive me for it. I add another square there. So remember to click the square with the circle to add another square there so you can do your blend effect. So now I am going to make sure that square is highlighted because I want to do a blend effect on this. So I'm gonna make sure that square is selected. I'm gonna go over here to the side, the left side panel, select my brush, Go up here to my brush. I'm sorry, go up here to where it says, it has the number, so I could bring up the brushes. So I want to hit soft brush, make sure that's selected. And then I want to get my pixels. So I want my pixels to be, I usually start with 700. And you see how that circle comes up once I hover my mouse over the board? That's not big enough for me, so I'm gonna go higher. The bigger the brush, the better the blend. That's not big enough, so I'm gonna go higher. That may be big enough. I'm going to click on anywhere on the board outside of the canvas. And now I'm going to go here and make sure my black is selected, because black is high, white is reveal. So I'm going to hit the little arrow box right here over top of the black and white square to make sure my black is on top. Whichever color is on top is what's selected. So now I'm going to go back over to my board and just hold the mouse and swerve. You see how it's blending? And blend that picture. Get that hard, straight line off. And that's how you do a blend, guys. That's how you do a blend. So now that I'm finished with the blend, I am going to hit the move tool and release it. So now I want to make this bottom image, I want to bring it up a little bit more. So I'm going to click on that layer, which is already selected, hit Command T, bring up my adjustment dots and just stretch the layer. And then hit the check. That is how you do a blend, guys. So let's say if I wanted to put a Bible verse behind here, but I wanted to blend in with the background. So I'm gonna go to the web. Let me share the screen with y'all. I was sharing. And I am going to put in Bible verses. Okay, so let's say I wanted to use one of these Bible verses for my background, right? I'm going to scroll down, scroll down. Let's just say we wanted to use this one here. I'm gonna say this one because it's the actual page. Well, actually, that's a video, so I can't use that one. All right, let's use this one right here. Bible verse about life. So I'm gonna click, add image to my photos. Told me it was saved successfully. I'm gonna go back to my Photoshop document. Okay, I'm gonna go to my photos and drag and drop it in. Okay, so there you have it. Now I want to put that Bible verse up here in the background, and I'm gonna just make it blend in like it's supposed to be in with the background. But first I'm gonna stretch it to the size that I want. Then I'm gonna move it behind this layer because I want it to sit behind this layer. So I'm gonna move it, drag and drop it behind that layer. See how it blends in behind that layer? Now what I am going to do, I'm going to double click that layer. Actually, I don't have to double click the layer, and make sure that layer is selected, guys. And you can go right up here and you could just scroll down till you find the one you want. And I think that one is perfect. But if you just go scroll down, you'll get different blends. See how you get the different blends? And you just keep going down until you find the one you want. So I'm gonna just go through, because it was one that I seen that I asked, that one here, this green one, and I click it and voila, that Bible verse is in the background like it's supposed to be there. So now if I want to make it a little lighter, As far as the transparency, I'll right click, double click in the layer, and I'll go here to occupancy, and I'll just slide it. And it'll blend it in, make it lighter in the background so that it's not so bold. And that's how you can blend Bible verses, words, pictures. If you want to blend a picture in the background, you can do anything into a background. I showed you guys how to do the fade the image is in. I showed you how to do the horizontal flip, and I showed you how to blend. So now let's bring in a picture. So I'm gonna go to File, Place Embedded, and I am going to find a picture. Whose picture am I going to use? I had a picture. I'm going to use this picture of Nipsey Hussle. All right, so I am going to stretch him to the size I want him to be. And I'm going to also remove the background because as y'all can see, the background is on him. So I'm going to click that to remove my transformation dots. But first I want to remove that background. So now when you want to remove a background, change the color of an image, do anything to an image. When you see this square inside the image, that means it's a smart object. You want to rasterize this layer. So you'll double right click in there. I'm sorry. You'll double click. You'll click in the layer. Okay, why? You'll click on the layer, right click in the layer, go down to rasterize layer. That remove that smart object square. Now you can make adjustments to this image. First, I'm going to remove the background. So I'm gonna go over here to that layer, the background of the layer of the background that I want to remove is selected. So I'm going to go over here to the magnifying glass and hit search. And I'm going to hit, it say remove. Well, it popped right up. You just type in remove background and it pops right up. There it is. It's going to do its thing. Voila, it removes the background. So this is how you remove the background. Then I just hit the X. So now I want him on top of this. I don't see how he's behind it. If I put him down, he's behind that layer. I don't want him behind that layer. I want him on top of this layer. So what I am going to do is I am going to drag him on top of that layer, or I'll drag that layer under him, which I'm going to drag the layer under him. And it puts him on top. So you just, if you want to move your layers behind each other, you just put them down. Like say, like if I wanted to put him all the way behind, I move him all the way down and you can't see him anymore. He's behind everything. But if I drag him back up to the top, he's on top of everything. So this is just the order of your layers. So now what I am going to do, I am going to blend these hard edges out. So we're going to do the same steps, but I don't have to add a square because the square is already there from me removing the background. So I'm going to click that square, make sure that square is highlighted. Then I'm going to go over here to my left side panel and select my brush. It's already on 1000, what I want it on, and then I'm just going to blend. Oh, also make sure it's on hide. Black is hide, white's reveal. And I'm just going to blend. Get rid of those hard edges. And then I'm going to click the move tool to release it. So looking good so far. So now let's bring in some doves. So I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, and in my search tool, I'm going to search doves. And my doves pop up. I think I'm going to use this one today. So I'm going to click on that one and hit place. And it brings my doves right in. So we're going to size them to the size we want them at. And then hit the check button to release, the check mark to release it. So I want him to stand out. I'm gonna put him on an angle a little bit. So I'm gonna hit Command T to bring up my adjustment marks. Put him on an angle. I'm a little bigger. And hit the check mark. But I want him to stand out. You can see him, but you really can't see him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click in that layer, bring up my stroke. So I'm going to click my first stroke and see what we got. That's a brown color. So I don't want that color and I don't want it that thick. So I'm going to click, right click in that layer, again, the stroke layer. Click on a color, bring up my color picker, and I'm going to drag it down to black. Now it made my stroke around him black. But if I wanted to do blue, I click on the blue. If I wanted to do white, I can click on the white. If I wanted to use a color from my canvas, you just bring hover the color dropper over the canvas. It'll give me black. If I wanted to do it like his chains, it'll give me that color. But I am going to go for black for now. And I'm going to hit OK. Now I don't want my stroke this thick. That's a really thick stroke. So I'm going to go up here to the sides, the stroke structure. So I'm going to slide it down to the size that I want it to be. And that right there is fine for me. So now I'm going to hit OK. Remember to always hit OK to save your changes that you made. What I also want to do is I want to duplicate this dove. I'm going to put another one right here. So I'm going to click on that layer, make sure that layer is highlighted. And then I'm going to hit Command C for copy. And then Command V for paste. So now I have that dove selected. I want to move him over, but I want him to be flipped around because I want them to be facing each other. So I'm gonna make sure that layer is selected. I always sometimes do Command T to make sure that layer is selected to bring up my my adjustment marks. So I know that that's the layer that's selected because I have two doves. So what I'm gonna do is, so I won't get them mixed up, I'm gonna change the name. So you can double click on the name and I'm gonna just add a 1. So I know that's dove 1, which is dove 1. And I'm gonna double click here and add a 2. So I know that's dove 2. Dove 2 is the one I want to flip horizontally. So I am going to go to the layer selected. I'm gonna go to edit, transform, flip horizontally. And there you go. It flips them horizontally. And that's where I want my doves. Something simple, nothing too fancy. This is just to show you guys. So I want to put my doves there. So now I want to bring in some font because we can't have just Nipsey Hussle there without any font. So now I am going to type in his name. So I click on the font here. What I did was if you right click it, it'll bring up which way you want to type the font. I want to do horizontally, so I already have horizontally selected. But if you wanted to do vertically, where you wanted the font going straight up and down like this, you can just select vertically. So I already have horizontally selected, so I'm going to go over here, hit my check mark. I'm going to double click on triple click on my font, and I'm going to put his name in there. I'm going to spell his name out. Oh, no. And I'm going to hit the check mark. I'm going to hit the move tool to release the text tool. So now I want to make his name fit within my canvas. As you can see, his name is off the canvas. It's not all the way on the canvas. So I'm going to hit Command T to bring up my adjustment points. And I'm going to bring it in to fit the canvas. And I think that's a pretty decent size right there. Just bring it in to fit the canvas to the size that you want. And then hit the checkpoint, the check mark. Now, what I am going to do, I'm going to zoom in because I want to do some stuff to his name. And I need to zoom in and see what it is that I'm doing. So therefore, I am going to make sure the layer is selected, his name, which I just did, the text layer. As you can see, the T is here. So I'm going to double click to bring up my layer style. So I think I want to make his name white in color. So I'm going to hit color overlay, and it brought up the blue color because that was the last color that I picked. But I'm going to right click in that layer to bring up the color changing panel. Then I'm going to click on the color, and it'll bring up the color picker. Now Photoshop is it's a lot with it, but once you keep maneuvering it and working with it every day, you get used to it. So now I'm going to drag the color all the way over here to white because I want to make it white. So then I'm going to hit OK because I want to save that change, but I'm not finished. So what I also want to do now, I'm going to move the canvas over a little bit. I want to add a stroke or something. So I'm going to hit stroke and see what comes up. A black stroke comes up. So that's pretty cool for me. I'm okay with that black stroke. So I'm going to just hit OK. So now I'm going to zoom out. Now, if I wanted to add a shadow to that stroke, I mean, a shadow behind his name, I'll go back and double click in that layer. And then you got the drop shadow. You see the blue pop up around it. If I want to change the color, I will click in that layer again, click on the color picker, and then I can go hover the dropper over the canvas, and I can pick a color. So say if I wanted to use that blue, which wouldn't really show because it's dark in color. So I'm thinking the only thing we can use is white to bring it out. I hit OK. Now I'm gonna bring it out in the sides. Okay, so why is my white not showing up? Is it because, so let me do the black. I'm gonna click on the black because I don't know why my white not showing up. Okay, so the black show up. Maybe the white just not showing up because of the colors in the background. But I don't want that, so I'm just gonna hit OK. But I'm going to check that to release it. And then you could do an outer glow here. You could do patterns. You click on here, you have different patterns. You got trees, grass. There's a few things. You got water patterns here as well. If you wanted to give your font a little pattern look, you won't actually see it because my font is in the white color, so you won't see the pattern. But if it was in a different color, you would see the pattern design within the font. A gradient, if I wanted to give my font a gradient, I would have to release the color overlay though. You cannot have the color overlay and gradient selected. So let's say if I wanted to give it let's go over here and see what color gradients they have. Now what I did was the gradient styles layer is already picked. So I go here to gradient, I click this check mark and it brings up different gradients. Here's a basic. You click on the arrow and bring them up. So let's say if I wanted to do this gradient, it would make my font that color. If I wanted to do that gradient, which I actually like that better. So you could click on different gradients to use. If you wanted to do a gradient for your image. I like that one. So I think I'm gonna stick with that one. I'm gonna do a gradient instead of the white font. So now I'm gonna hit click out of that. You can click anywhere within this layer style, but I'm not finished. So I didn't hit OK yet because I'm not finished. Let's say if I wanted to put a white stroke inside his name, Nipsey Hussle. What I do is I'll hit stroke, another stroke layer, which I already added it. When you want to add more layers to like another stroke, or if you wanted to add 2 strokes to your own font or whatever it is that you add in a stroke to, you'll just hit the plus sign and it will add another stroke there. So I'm gonna hit the plus sign. You see how it added another stroke? Now I have 4 strokes up there. So I could do 4 different strokes on his name, on this layer, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to delete this stroke and I'll delete that one. So the second stroke that I add is already set for black. And it's set for outside. I want to put this stroke in the inside. You see how I clicked on inside? I switched it to the inside and the word, you can't even hardly see the word because the stroke is too thick. So I got to slide it down and make it lighter. But I want to change that stroke to white just to see how it looks. And that's not bad. And I'm going to hit OK for the color picker part, but I'm not going to hit okay for this layer because I'm not quite finished yet. So I want to adjust the stroke to see what I like it as, you know, where I like it. And that's not bad at all. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use that stroke. And now that I'm finished with all of my changes, I am going to hit okay to save everything I just done. And this is how you do like a basic canvas. Let's see. Let's bring some wings in for. I'm gonna do file, place embedded, and I'm gonna hit angel. Wings. And I will only have 2 different kinds. I'm gonna just pick this one here and bring them in. Now I want the wings to go behind him and not on him. So I'm gonna hit the check mark. And what I'm gonna do is and if you want to open your layer, you hit this box, it collapses it, and it opens it. I'm at the arrow and it collapses and it opens it. So I'm gonna bring his wings behind his picture, which his picture is right here. So I'm gonna click on it, hold it, and drag it and bring it down. And it put the wings behind his picture where I want them to be. So now I'm gonna adjust them to the size that I want them to be. So I'm gonna hit Command T. And I'm gonna bring them down. And I'm gonna just adjust them to the size I want them to be. All right. All right, give me a second. I'm live. I'm gonna just stretch them out. They're gonna be off the canvas, but I like them. So now I think I want to keep his wings like that. So there you have it. I mean, you can add more to it. You want to bring a halo in, you can bring a halo over his head. Let me find a halo. I think I like this one. So I'm gonna add this one. I'm gonna go back to my let's see. Photos. Why is it saying I don't have any photos when I should? Okay, it didn't save in my photos. So what I'll do is I'll go back. I'll right click it again and save image to downloads. I'm sorry, guys, my computer is doing whatever it wants to do right now. I didn't need all of this to come up. I just want the halo, so I'm gonna right. There it is. Save image as. So my save box to come up. And it say Angel. I'm gonna rename it. Halo. Save. Now I'll go back to my canvas. Photoshop. And I'm gonna go click on it. I'm gonna go file, place embedded. And I'm gonna type in halo. And here it is. I'm gonna bring it in. When it was a PNG transparent image. So I don't want it this way, so I'm gonna flip it horizontally. So I'm gonna go to file. I'm gonna go to edit, transform, flip horizontally. I actually wanted a little straight, so I'm gonna bring up my adjustment marks, and I'm gonna just tilt it like this. Just tilt it a little bit. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm gonna bring it down in size. That's not too bad. And there you have it. For this halo. So say if I wanted to put some clouds or some more doves in there, you can. Let's say I wanted to add RIP real big down here. I would hit text, click anywhere on the board. Once that T come up, the square with the T, click anywhere on the board, hit RIP. I want it in all caps. I'm gonna hit the check mark. And then I'm gonna go over here to character, hit the drop down menu under that and bring up the different fonts. I'm gonna go with university. I'm gonna hit the move tool because if I'd have clicked on the font, if I'd have clicked anywhere on the board while my font was selected, it would have brought up another font layer. So I'm gonna hit the move tool and I'm gonna adjust it to where I want. This is where I want it. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. This is where I want it. So now that I have my layer selected, I'm gonna double click in that layer and hopefully everything is saved. The gradient popped up. Sometimes when you use certain things, if you click on it, it's automatically saved. So the gradient popped up, that's cool. I want that. The stroke, I want that. And the other stroke on the inside. And there you have it because I already used it. Now, if I click satin, you see how it show up a darker and blue color, but I don't want that. But if you hit bevel and emboss, you see how it give it like that, I don't know what you call this look, but it gives it a better look. So I think I'm gonna go with that. And then I'll just hit okay to save everything that I just did. And there you have it. Just a basic image, Nipsey Hussle with the staircase and the doves, his name, RIP, wings, his picture, the halo, just something basic that if you wanted to bring some stars in it to make it pop a little in the background, you can go file, place embedded. Let me see what I got. I think it's saved under sparkles. Yeah, sparkles. And I have different sparkles here. Let's say if I wanted to use this one, I click that one, place. It'll come in really big. You can size it down. Then I could just place them anywhere on the screen. Let's say if I just want it there and I already have that layer selected and I want to make multiple copies of it instead of just keep going to file and place embedded, I hit Command C, which is copy, Command V, which is paste, and it will bring it in at the same exact size. So then I could just place that there. And if I want to place another one in, Command C, which is copy, Command V, which is paste. And I just copied and pasted something that I didn't want to copy and paste. So I'm gonna hit Command Z and undo that. And I'm going to select the layer, make sure that layer is always selected. And I'm going to hit Command C, Command V, it brought that star in. I'm gonna Command T to highlight it so I can find it and know where it's at. And then I can move it down here. And then if I want to add one more, I hit Command C, which is copy, because I'm already on that layer. Command V, which is paste. Command T to highlight it so I can see it. And just put it down here. And hit the check. And that's it, guys. Like if you want to make the stars white, you just click on that layer. Double click that layer, hit color overlay to make the stars white. Whatever colors you want to make them, you can make them. That's pretty much it, guys. For my Nipsey Hussle image. And I made all my stars white. So there you have it. This is a basic Nipsey Hussle image. You can print it out, put it on a shirt. do whatever you want to do with it, but the basic image, you got him. I showed you how to put the Bible verse in the background, with just and how to blend it in with the background. We wore halos and doves in, how to deck his name out, you know, change the colors, the gradient, the bevel emboss, for the RIP to give it that more of a high sit out, I guess, effect. I don't know what you would call it. We brought a halo in and the doves like in the staircase, and that's pretty much it, guys. And that's the basics of Photoshop, just to give you guys an idea of what how to do a few things in Photoshop. Next week, if it's something that something else you guys want me to show you, let me know. We can work on it. Like I said, I'm going to start trying to go live in my group every week, once a week. So tell people to join, to come learn with us, engage, post their crafts and stuff like that, because I'm going to start doing videos showing how to make crafts and stuff like that. I'm going to start engaging with you guys a little bit more. So like I said, if it's something that you want to learn, let me know. I definitely will take the time out to show you guys next week. I think I want to go live on Tuesday next week, and I think I'm going to do Canva. I want to show you guys how to work Canva. We're going to create something in Canva, probably just a basic backdrop or a chip bag or something, just to give you guys an idea. But if I wanted to save this image, I will go up here to File. And I could hit Save As or Save and name it. Or if I just wanted to export it as a PNG, you hit Export, and then I could hit Quick Export as PNG, and then the box will pop up for me to name it. And then this image will be saved in my files on my computer. So that's it, guys, for tonight. I hope this live was very helpful to you guys. Show you, just to give you an idea to how to work a few tools on the right, at the left side panel, so you can get familiar with them. But I hope this was very helpful to you guys. If, like I said, if it's something that you guys want me to show you, let me know and I'll put it together. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tapping in. It will stay up. I'm not taking this live down. The live will stay up so you can go back, replay, refer back to it, whatever you want to call it. And I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. So yeah, that's it for tonight. I'll see you guys next week. I hope you guys join, engage, everything. Like I said, if it's something you want me to do, let me know. We'll put it together.